Alright fellas, here we're back on Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be taking a showcase look at whatever the fuck I just said. We're going to be taking a look here at Geeta and Glimmora here, Master Fair Sync pair of the Paldea region, first Master Fair for Paldea, and first non-Poke Fair for Paldea. Though I don't think we're exactly, I don't think we're going upgrades, I guess, in terms of availability, we'll say, right? Because they'll pass Master Fair. But whatever, either way, so obviously, we're finally getting our first Master Fair for Paldea, which is great, and she is a great sync pair, 100%. She's got a great offensive stat here with 500 attack, and she's got two very high, well, I guess three, mostly two high-powered moves with Mortal Spin, which is able to leave all enemies poisoned, because it is also AoE, removing trap and removing damage fields, and her Blooming Mortal Spin, which is an absurdly strong buddy move here, which is also AoE, but at pretty much double power level, right, and two less gauges, which is very, very good, because she is kind of gauge hungry, and then she's also able to debuff defenses with this move, and set Poison Zone. So she's able to do a lot of Poison Zone setting, a lot of defensive debuffing utility, I guess, and just very good poison damage. And of course, she is a field sync pair, so she's able to set Poison Zone on her sync move, and she has her passive skill which sets Poison Zone on entry and maxes her attack by 6. So she's got herself very good self-sufficiency and good ally support ability with the Poison Zone and the defense debuffing, and she's obviously got, well, obviously, but she's also got crits here, guaranteed crits, as well as powering up her Mortal Spin and Blooming Mortal Spin, which that power is already shown here. It's not actually, you know, powered up even further. It is at the current power level shown, right? I guess just because Mortal Spin is going to be a weaker move in general. I don't know, but whatever. Either way, not bad. And then she's got her other passive skill here, which is probably one of her most impactful ones, right? Which gives her +3 physical moves next, essentially. Nah, she gets +1 physical moves next for every enemy she hits, but since all 3 of her moves, plus, you know, Rock Slide right here, hits all enemies, she gets +3 physical moves next, essentially, when you're facing multiple opponents, right? Obviously, you start facing one opponent, it's going to be +1, but still, that's definitely not bad. And then she's got her trainer move here, which is supportive, meaning you can select an ally, which applies super effective next and increases physical moves next by 3 for an ally. So you can use this on her for a very nuclear Blooming Mortal Spin, if you want to, or you can use it on an ally to buff up their move. I show you instances of both in this video, or I guess a singular instance of one of them, but whatever, either way. Geeta, very, very strong poison type character. Let's go ahead, hop into some battles, and see just how strong this character's mortal spins can be. Are they mortal? Are they immortal? Are they lethal? Bad joke, I know, whatever. Let's go ahead and get into these battles here. Alright, so our first battle here is against Geeta's Extreme Battle, because there is no Poison Week Master Mode stage here, so we are showcasing Geeta against a different Poison Week stage, but of course this is still a very hard battle. Obviously it's built for Geeta, so of course her being the centric oriented sync pair for the enemy's passes and whatnot does take down a lot of I guess showcase viability, but I still wanted to showcase her super effective damage anyway, because I figure people are going to be wondering, is she going to be able to just destroy Ontype? Answer is yes, she's going to unconditionally destroy Ontype with absolutely no problem. Penny here has like 90,000 HP, I believe, which normal stadium enemies have probably 25, 30,000 with strength and a couple health parameters, give or take, so she's definitely not going to be struggling for sure to be able to take those enemies down. And we're using some pretty weak partners. Penny is only here because she's able to apply the Paldea Master Passive, because Geeta does have Paldea Flag Bearer, so she's getting some very minor buffs from having Penny on the team. Plus, the enemies are Johto and Paldea boosted, or we're Paldea and Johto boosted, so I figured it'd just be better to bring somebody on the boost and make the setup a little bit easier. And then we're using Lodge Jasmine here to debuff enemy defense, so we can take a good look at her power here. So she's able to do great power with her normal Mortal Spins, right? But now we've got her Blooming Mortal Spin, which is about to hit a -6 defense poisoned enemy under Poison Zone. Yeah, 24,000 damage. And again, it debuffs enemy defenses by 3, so for sure your next hits are going to start doing a lot more damage, and of course your next Blooming Mortal Spin, which I just went ahead and queued up again right here, is going to be hitting for even more, right? And of course you can build strategies around her physical moves next and her trainer move, because you don't have to use the trainer move at the start of battle, right? It only applies physical moves next and super effective next. So you can store that for later on when you have enough sync buffs, defensive debuffs, rebuffs, zones, whatever it may be, in order to actually really maximize Geeta's damage here. And that's what I did. I used her sync move, I used her trainer move, and since she had +3 physical moves next from hitting all enemies prior, that means she had +3. I gave her another +3, and I gave her super effective next. So that mortal spin that did, what, like 50,000 damage or something? Yeah, it was boosted a hell of a lot. So Geeta is obviously extremely strong with what she's able to put up here on like on-type damage, and of course, this is 1 out of 5. This is a 1 out of 5 showcase, so keep that all in mind. This is without dupes. She's definitely got some good stuff going on here, so this super effective battle was 100% a success, and yeah, let's go ahead, hop into some stadium battles where we can actually showcase her off-type and with some varying partners, I suppose. Right here is our first battle against Glacia here, and we're going to be doing some pretty fun stuff, right? So this is actually making abuse of the enemy stat up parameter, and it's mostly just because obviously Oleana is great at debuffing, but Oleana is the single best partner for Geeta probably in the entire game, other than like selected supports, which are able to buff like physical moves next, defense debuff, whatever it may be, right? But in terms of like other like offensive partners, Oleana is definitely the best partner for Geeta here because she's able to apply poison rebuff for one, which also she's able to turn all of Geeta's poison into bad poison if you were to opt to, wait and use Geeta's mortal spins first, right? But I used the max move first here for the strategy. But then we can go ahead and go for these Venom Drenches here, which combine Geeta's ability to debuff defenses here with her blooming mortal spins, and you're actually able to get -6 attack, special attack, speed, and defense from Geeta and Oleana combined, but not necessarily in this scenario because I am using them both together against an enemy with the boosted stats parameter, so her defenses aren't going to be able to get debuffed very, very well here. But anyway, whatever. We brought Janine for one to act as a tank because she can evade, though clearly she's not doing a great job of it right now. But she's also decent enough for bringing Venom Drenches and whatnot, so we can try to max out Oleana's nuke the best we possibly can here. So it works out. We go ahead and go for Oleana's nuke here. Nearly KO that side. I had a lot of trouble doing that, so I had to change up strategy a bit and go for mortal spins. By the way, as you can see from these mortal spins, despite being 120 power moves, they're doing good damage because the +3 physical moves next is a very, very massive buff. And obviously Oleana with her gung shots is doing fine as well. This was a little bit annoying here because the poison zone did go out before my blooming mortal spin landed, so it would have been probably better for me to queue up that mortal spin and then queue up the gung shot, but well, still 12,000 damage without having poison zone up. With poison zone, that would have probably been 18,000, and I would say this gung shot would probably have been a wrap on Glacia here, so that would have been fun. Either way, it doesn't matter because now we can queue up our mortal spin here with Geeta and the same move with Oleana and go full overkill mode. So you don't need dupes in either of these characters to make them look pretty impressive, as you can tell here, right? If you really wanted to, you can just bring a really solid support and buff their physical moves next and defensive debuffs and whatever else, and you can make them look even better than I did right now. I just opted to bring Janine because, for one, I don't use Janine too much, and for 3, triple poison, right? Why not? It was fun. So yeah, Oleana and Geeta work extremely well together, and if you have both maxed out, like 3 out of 5, and for both of them, you can go for 5 out of 5 Oleana if you really wanted to, but probably not. And also the support EX roll for Oleana, where she's actually got defensive bulk now. You can make some very good cooking stuff. Like, if you want a top-tier poison team, you can look at a top-tier poison team. And again, even now at 1 out of 5, both of these characters work extremely well together and both look very, very good. So, anyway, yeah, that was the showcase for Geeta and Oleana working together, alongside Janine here, who's able to apply some Venom Drenches, gauge management, and etc., etc. Let's go on where we use Rock DPS Geeta, which was very, very funny. Our hero versus Drake for the Rock Week setup with Dana and Special Costume Steven. So just keep in mind, this obviously is probably not that great of an actual showcase for her rock damage because I am juicing her up with a bunch of physical moves next, defensive debuffs, whatever. Obviously, if you want a more accurate look, bring Sigma Suit Diantha, bring in, of course, super effective next I think is fair because Dana is free. But that type of stuff, you can just sub out Steven for maybe another rock DPS or something like that. Whatever you want to work with, it doesn't really matter too much. But I just brought this because I figured it'd be funny. Boosting her physical moves next along with her main passives plus her trainer move alongside buffing physical moves next with Steven is extremely, extremely funny, right? You can get a lot of high levels of physical moves next from both of these characters together because they both essentially do the same thing, except Steven's trainer move is technically slightly worse than Geeta's because Geeta applies super effective next along with it. But Steven's also got +4 physical moves next in the grid if you want to grid him like that, right? We went for Dana Sync move. I do wish that they would go ahead and just EX these Battle Shadow lanes and the other BP Master supports, but really it wouldn't have been good to go for any other Sync move here. I mean, I could have gone for Steven, because why not, but I just went for Dana, because fuck it. And we also got that flinch. So by the way, 13,000 damage nuke, pretty good. I wanted to go ahead and give Geeta another nuclear setup here. +6 physical moves next, plus super effective next. How much did we do here? Probably quite a lot, right? Yeah, 21,000 damage with rock rebuff, super effective next, and +6 physical moves next. Would have been more if we had probably Red and Snorlax instead of Dana, because he would have had the support EX. Which again, give us that support EX for these Battle Shadow lanes at least. That'd be nice. Whatever. If y'all want to see like an actual legitimate like Rock Week showcase or something, then let me know down in the comments below. Like at 1 out of 5, let me know, because I do plan on doing another Rock Week showcase for when she gets actual multipliers, because she does get super duper effective 5, super duper effective 9 at 3 out of 5. So I'll go ahead and showcase her Rock Week again when I do the 3 out of 5 showcase. But if y'all want to see a 1 out of 5 showcase, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll upload like a short or something for those interested. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and go to the final battle. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the final battle where we utilize Oleana and Emma for more poison damage. Alright, so here we are against Drake again, but this time we have Emma and Kiawe, so we're going to make some utilization of Emma's damage here at 2 out of 5, which, she's 2 out of 5, man. She gets, like, the ability to raise her attack in the grid as well as a 1% multiplier, so I mean, 10% multiplier, so it's not really the greatest buff in the world. It's fine. Anyway, whatever. So we're able to use Kiawe here to debuff defense, because I don't want to, I guess technically me wanting to waste the Blue Immortal Spin was a little bit in vain, because I do have to end up picking half MP up, but whatever, I just brought Kiawe anyway. Probably would have been better to bring a Kalos support or a Paldea support, I guess. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much who I brought for the third setup. We could use Emma tanking, maybe, I don't know. But we're able to use Emma here as a good damage dealer alongside Geeta. You could, again, Oleana is a better partner, right? But if you want, like, more damage, then you could probably go for Emma here. If you want, like, a very easy-to-use striker, because, obviously, Geeta does enable Emma's buddy move. There you go. Buddy move extremely easily, because all it needs is poison, right? And obviously, we're able to apply poison here with Geeta, AoE, to pretty much turn 1. So we're able to make full use of that with Emma's cross poisons. Then we're also able to buff Emma's, is it cross poison? It is cross poison. Yeah, venomous cross poison. Able to utilize more damage from it, because we're able to use Geeta's trainer move in order to buff physical moves next for Emma, because I think it would have ended up actually doing more damage, right? Because Emma has like, what, 400 attack stats, plus the buddy move's like 200 power. It's better than Geeta's 500 attack stat and 120 base power move, so it worked out better. I go ahead and showcase the slow look at Geeta's sync move, because it's a nice sync move for sure. Sorry, okay, but yeah, she's also got a nice voice actress. Kind person, go follow on Twitter, I guess. I don't know. Either way, yeah, so Geeta, very, very strong poison zone setter, poison buffer, and just poison damage dealer. She's great at helping out poison allies, as well as being able to be self-sufficient in her own right. Like, in case you wanted to use her for your sole poison damage dealer, you probably could, given that you maybe provide her with like some defensive debuffs, some physical moves next, something like that. You can make her look even more impressive than I made her look here, right? Which I'm not going to say that I made her look all that great. I'm not going to take too much credit. I did accidentally beat Stadium here, so I guess I have to beat the whole thing. That's fun, but whatever. Overall, Geeta is a extremely strong poison character. Definitely, probably the best poison character in the game. I mean, Signature Roxy, I think, does more damage on the normal level, but she does Geeta also does synergize better with Oleana, and they work far, far better together. So I don't think the gap is actually that massive, so you can make arguments for probably either, but still, good, definitely a great top-tier poison character, all that aside, right? And definitely a top-tier character in the game in general. Very, very nice, probably very, very valuable, right? I'm not going to say you should go for her if you don't really care too much for her, but if you need like a massive poison buff, and you do plan to go for Oleana later in the month, Oleana is rerunning, so them together is an extremely strong setup. So if you just need like 2 characters that can be extremely good in pretty much any situation for the most part, other than when they negate status conditions, because that is a pretty big hindrance to these two, but whatever, then you got yourself a setup right there. So very, very good stuff to see Geeta being this strong in the game. And yeah, that's the 1 out of 5 EX showcase. I'll be doing the 3 out of 5 showcase in a few hours, and yeah, I'll see you all later.